Number 1. The Typhoon Shield of Southeast Asia. The Philippines, officially known as the Republic of the Philippines, is an archipelagic country located in Southeast Asia between the Pacific Ocean and the East Sea. It is nicknamed the Country of 1,000 Islands because it possesses more than 7,600 large and small islands. With such a vast number of islands, the Philippines is the second country in the world with the most islands, only behind Indonesia. Due to the many small islands scattered across the ocean, each with its own coastline, the Philippines is also one of the countries with the longest coastlines in the world. This provides a great advantage for the country in developing marine tourism, while also creating an extremely abundant fishery resource. It may sound like with over 7,600 islands, the area of the Philippines must be very large. But in reality, the country covers only about 300,000 square kilometers. However, surprisingly, the population of the Philippines ranks among the highest in the world, with around 119 million people. Of these, nearly half live on Luzon Island, which is also the largest island in the Philippines. The Philippines is one of the rare countries in the world that boasts an impressive combination of thousands of volcanic islands, pristine white sand beaches, vibrant coral reefs, and massive limestone cave systems. Notably, it is believed that the country has over 2,000 discovered caves, with thousands more estimated to remain unexplored, making it a paradise for cave explorers. Although it occupies only 0.25% of the world's land area, the Philippines contains up to 5% of the world's total plant and animal species, placing it among the top megadiverse countries. Remarkably, the rate of endemism here is very high, meaning there are many species of flora and fauna that exist only in this country and nowhere else. Examples include the Philippine eagle, the world's largest and rarest eagle, which is a national symbol and is facing a serious risk of extinction, or the tarsier, the smallest primate in the world, and the world's only venomous snake species of its kind. The Philippines lies on the Pacific Typhoon Belt, an area frequently hit by the strongest tropical storms in the world. Each year, the country faces about 20 storms, of which 9 to 10 make direct landfall. One of the most devastating storms ever recorded was Super Typhoon Haiyan in 2013, with wind speeds reaching up to 315 km per hour. The storm killed more than 6,300 people and caused nearly $3 billion in damages. Because it is located at the front line where storms first hit when moving from the Pacific into Southeast Asia, the Philippines is often referred to as the typhoon shield of the region. Number 2. Diverse ban. The Philippines is a country where about 80% of the population adheres to Roman Catholicism. As a result, it has the third largest Catholic population in the world, only behind Brazil and Mexico. This is quite unique compared to the rest of Southeast Asia, where the majority of the population practices Buddhism or Islam. Interestingly, although most people in the Philippines are Catholic, the country still recognizes some major Islamic holidays as national holidays. The reason is that before being colonized by Spain, in the 16th century, many regions in southern Philippines, such as Mindanao and Sulu, were once Islamic sultanates. Islam has been present in the Philippines since the 14th century, nearly 200 years earlier than Catholicism. Today, about 6% of the Philippine population is Muslim, mainly the Moro people living in the southern regions. The Philippine government officially recognizes two major Islamic holidays, Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha, both of which are nationwide public holidays. Like other countries with Catholic traditions, Christmas is an extremely important occasion for the people of the Philippines. But what surprises the world is that the Christmas season here starts very early, as soon as September. Once September arrives, many radio stations begin playing Christmas music, and shopping malls and neighborhoods hang lights, set up Christmas trees, and decorate everywhere. People also participate in a religious ritual called Simbang Gabi, which is a series of 9 consecutive early morning masses before Christmas Eve. It can be said that Christmas in the Philippines is not just a religious holiday but almost becomes a festival season lasting nearly 4 months of the year. Besides these interesting aspects, the Philippines is also known for a controversial regulation, the ban on divorce. Currently, only 2 countries in the world prohibit divorce: Vatican City and the Philippines. Married couples in the Philippines who wish to end their marriage usually have to go through annulment, a legal process that is very costly and time-consuming. The main reason is the strong influence of Catholicism on the country's society and politics. Catholic doctrine regards marriage as a sacred sacrament that must not be broken. However, there have been some recent changes. In 2023, the House of Representatives in the Philippines passed a draft bill allowing divorce. But for it to take effect, the bill still needs to be approved by the Senate and faces many obstacles from conservative religious groups. Do you agree or disagree with the divorce ban? Leave your opinion in the comments below. Number 3. The Beauty Queen Empire of the Philippines. Filipino women possess a harmonious blend of gentle Asian features and a touch of sharpness from their mixed European heritage. They often have radiant honey-brown skin, captivating deep-set eyes, high nose bridges, and slim, well-defined faces. Their long, glossy black or dark brown hair accentuates the distinct tropical beauty they are known for. Especially striking is their smile, both radiant and friendly, which instantly creates a sense of warmth and approachability. Beyond physical beauty, they also exude confidence, charm, and a unique allure characteristic of island women. With these advantages, Filipino women have made a strong mark on international beauty pageants. In the past decade alone, they have claimed 9 major titles from competitions such as Miss Universe, Miss World, Miss International, and Miss Earth. The Philippines is the only Asian country to have won all 4 of the world's top beauty pageant crowns. Every time a winner is crowned, the whole nation erupts in celebration. Beauty queens are welcomed like heroes. Crowds fill the streets in support. Media coverage is widespread, and major brands line up with offers of collaboration. Some have said that in the Philippines, beauty queens are as famous as Olympic athletes or pop stars. Because of this national admiration, the dream of becoming a beauty queen has deeply rooted itself in popular culture. Many young girls are enrolled in catwalk classes and trained in public speaking from a young age, all in hopes of one day wearing the crown. In small towns, communities even pool money together to invest in a local girl's journey to compete. They hire trainers, prepare gowns, and coach her interview skills, much like preparing an athlete for international competition. However, as beauty pageants have become a national dream, darker sides have also begun to surface. Some participants have spoken out about being completely isolated from the outside world, denied contact with family, and strictly managed throughout the competition. Others have received inappropriate offers from individuals with power or wealth. Miss Janina San Miguel once revealed that she was offered 84,000 Singapore dollars to spend the night, with the amount increasing eightfold if she agreed to become the person's girlfriend. In recent years, however, Filipino women have become more outspoken about the injustices behind beauty pageants. As a result, many organizers have been forced to implement changes, increase transparency, and tighten regulations. The media has also stepped in to protect contestants, helping to create a safer and fairer environment for beauty competitions. Number 4. The Las Vegas of the Philippines. Angeles City is a city located in central Luzon, Philippines. Today, the place is well known as a nightlife destination with all kinds of bars, karaoke spots, and adult entertainment services. But few people know that, in the past, Angeles was home to one of the largest U.S. military bases in Asia, known as Clark Air Base. Clark Air Base was built in 1903, originally named Fort Stotzenberg. Throughout World War II, the Korean War, and especially the Vietnam War, this base became a strategic logistics hub for the U.S. military in Southeast Asia. At its peak, more than 15,000 American troops were stationed here. And from this military presence, the demand for entertainment began to emerge. Right outside the base gates was the Balabago district. Here, a multitude of bars, nightclubs, and massage parlors sprang up to serve American soldiers. Fields Avenue became the most vibrant street, attracting thousands of local women to work in the venues as so-called guest relations officers. Although the title sounds polite, many of the activities involved disguised sex work. In 1991, after the violent eruption of Mount Pinatubo and the Philippine government's decision not to renew the military agreement with the U.S., Clark Air Base officially closed. However, instead of declining, the entertainment industry in Angeles continued to thrive thanks to the influx of foreign tourists. Visitors from Japan, South Korea, Australia, and the U.S. began flocking to the area, turning Angeles into one of the top nightlife destinations in the Philippines. Many people call Angeles the Philippine Las Vegas, or the city that never sleeps. But behind the neon lights and loud music are darker sides that not everyone knows about. A large portion of the labor force in this industry is made up of young women, many of whom are lured, coerced, or pressured by financial hardship. According to international organizations like ECCENTRIC and UNICEF, there was a time when up to 80,000 Filipino children were subjected to sexual exploitation, and Angeles was one of the most alarming hotspots. Moreover, medical oversight remains limited, leading to a high risk of HIV transmission and other sexually transmitted infections. Reports have shown that at certain times, up to 30% of workers in this industry showed signs of illness without receiving proper treatment. Despite its darker sides, Angeles is now working to reshape its image. The local government is promoting cultural tourism, organizing festivals, and supporting community projects to reduce reliance on nightlife. Many tourists now visit not just for the bars, but also to explore the old military sites, sample local cuisine, and experience the distinct culture of central Luzon. Have you ever heard of Angeles City before? Share your thoughts or perspectives in the comments below. Number 5. The Deadly Song. If there's one form of entertainment closely tied to everyday life in the Philippines, it would undoubtedly be karaoke. In this country, singing karaoke isn't just popular, it's considered a part of the national culture. Everywhere you go in the Philippines, it's easy to see people singing on the sidewalk, at home, on vehicles, during family parties, and even at funerals. People sing solo, in groups, or even invite the whole neighborhood to join in. The number of karaoke machines in the Philippines is astonishing. At one point, nearly 1 million home karaoke systems were sold in a single year. Many families here don't watch much television. Instead, they gather in the evenings or on weekends to sing together. In some neighborhoods, the sound of karaoke fills the air as soon as the sun goes down. Even small roadside eateries often have a microphone ready for customers to sing while they eat. What's fascinating is that Filipinos aren't just passionate about singing, they are genuinely good at it. Many have never received formal training, yet possess powerful voices and a strong sense of musicality. There are viral videos of people simply testing microphones at a store counter, delivering renditions so impressive they send chills down your spine. Some globally recognized clips have even been filmed right at sidewalk karaoke stalls. For example, Charisse Pempenko rose to fame from street singing videos before being invited onto Oprah Winfrey's show. Filipinos' love for music is also reflected in street singing competitions, amateur church choirs, and the daily singing routines of many individuals. In schools, children are often encouraged to join singing groups from a young age. That's why singing talent has become almost like a natural resource of the Filipino people. However, this deep love for karaoke has also led to a rather strange phenomenon known as the My Way killings. This refers to a series of incidents over the years in which people were attacked or even killed simply for singing My Way, Frank Sinatra off-key, or for singing it too many times. Some karaoke bars have even removed the song from their playlists to avoid conflicts. While there's no clear evidence that the song itself is to blame, the fact that multiple violent incidents have been associated with the same song has turned it into a social phenomenon in the Philippines. Number 6. The slums in the cage of the capital. Manila is the capital of the Philippines, and also the country's largest financial and political center. This city has everything one might associate with a modern metropolis: high-rise office buildings, bustling commercial districts, and luxurious shopping centers like the Mall of Asia or the busy Makati Financial District. But just a short distance from these areas lies a completely different world. One notable area is Happyland, located in the Tondo district, known as one of the most densely populated and impoverished neighborhoods in Manila. Thousands of people live here in makeshift shacks built from corrugated metal, wood, plastic tarps, and whatever materials they can salvage from nearby landfills. The reason people gather here is that the cost of living in Manila is extremely high, especially rent, forcing many to live near dump sites to make a living. Common jobs include sorting recyclable waste, working as day laborers, or selling small goods. What stands out the most here is a dish called pagpag. This is leftover food collected from large fast food chains, which is then washed, cooked again, and sold for only about $0.20 to $0.50 per serving. Although it is far from hygienic, pagpag serves as the main daily meal for many families in the area. Some people say they've been eating it since childhood. If you stand in Happyland and look into the distance, you can clearly see the silhouettes of modern skyscrapers, but the gap in living conditions between the two sides is staggering. In addition to slums, Manila also has people who literally live in cemeteries. One example is Manila North Cemetery, a burial ground for thousands of the deceased, but also home to hundreds of the living. Many families have set up tents or small shelters right on abandoned graves because they cannot afford rent. Tombstones are used as dining tables, beds, even cooking spaces. Children here play and study among headstones. In some areas, skeletal remains have fallen out of tombs, but the locals, both adults and children, are unafraid and have grown accustomed to it. Some even carefully collect the bones as part of daily life. Others make a living doing related work like grave maintenance, engraving tombstones, or helping with funeral services to earn extra income. Would you dare try pag? If yes, comment number 1. If not, comment number 0. Number 7. A nation addicted to social media. The Philippines was once famously known as the texting capital of the world. Around 2007, Filipinos were sending over 1 billion SMS messages every single day. At that time, the country's population was just over 80 million, meaning that on average, each person was sending hundreds of messages daily. With a basic Nokia phone and only 1 peso, about 1 US cent per message, Filipinos could easily connect with family, friends, and even strangers. Many people referred to the youth of that era as the Generation Text, constantly hunched over their keypads typing away. However, after the rise of the internet and smartphones, traditional texting culture began to give way to social media. And once again, the Philippines quickly earned the title of the most social media-addicted country in the world. On average, each Filipino spends over 4 hours a day just browsing social media, with Facebook being the most popular platform. In the Philippines, Facebook is not just for entertainment or photo sharing, it's also a primary source of official information. The police, hospitals, schools, government agencies, and even neighborhood groups all have their own Facebook pages to interact with citizens. Any news or updates are posted on Facebook. If someone has a question, they comment under the post. For complaints, they message the page directly. Facebook has nearly replaced traditional communication channels. This allows for faster access to information and shortens the distance between citizens and the government. However, it also carries risks like personal data leakage, and elderly people or those in remote areas may struggle to access it. Despite being very active on social media, Filipinos are also known for an interesting cultural trait. They ghost a lot. Ghosting refers to the act of having a lively conversation with someone, only for one person to suddenly disappear without explanation, stop replying, and vanish from the online space. Filipinos are known to be friendly, outgoing, and easy to talk to, but at the same time, they also have one of the highest ghosting rates in the world. Many foreigners who have dated online or made friends over the internet in the Philippines have shared that they've experienced chatting enthusiastically with someone, only for that person to one day disappear without a trace. It's not out of hatred or anger. They simply lose interest and choose silence to end the connection. In the Philippines, ghosting has become such a common part of online communication that many jokingly call the country the Kingdom of Ghosting. Number 8. The most interesting economy in Southeast Asia. The Philippines is one of the most intriguing economies in Southeast Asia. At first glance, its rapid growth rate may lead many to believe it is a rising star. But when you look closer at the internal factors, there are quite a few surprising elements. One of the most notable is that the Philippines is the largest labor-exporting country in the region. Currently, around 11 million Filipinos are living and working abroad, nearly 10% of the national population. The remittances they send home each year amount to nearly 41 billion USD, which is roughly 10% of the country's GDP. Filipinos are commonly employed in sectors such as healthcare, maritime work, domestic service, and food service. Remarkably, 25% of all nurses working overseas globally are Filipino, an incredibly impressive figure. The Philippine economy also stands out for its rapid yet inconsistent growth. In 2020, due to the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, the country's GDP plummeted by 9.5%, one of the steepest drops in the region. However, just 4 years later, in 2024, the economy bounced back strongly, with a growth rate of 5.7%. This wasn't the first time the Philippines demonstrated such a rapid recovery. Back in 1985, following a political crisis under President Ferdinand Marcos, GDP dropped by 7.5%. But just 1 year later, as political stability returned, the economy rebounded with a 3.4% growth rate, eventually peaking at 6.8% in 1988. What many may not expect is that the Philippines is also rich in mineral resources. The country ranks 3rd in the world for gold reserves, 4th for copper, 5th for nickel, and 6th for chrome. However, most of these resources are controlled by private companies, many of which are Chinese-owned. The mining operations primarily focus on exporting raw, unprocessed ores, which means the economic value gained is relatively low. Meanwhile, the consequences are significant, ranging from environmental pollution and labor safety issues to poorly managed resource usage. In addition to labor export and resource extraction, The Philippines is also known as one of the largest outsourcing hubs in the world, second only to India. Cities like Manila and Cebu are home to hundreds of companies that provide customer service, accounting, and technical support for foreign businesses. This industry employs over 1.5 million workers and contributes nearly 8% to the country's GDP. If you walk into some of the office buildings in central business districts, you'll see many young professionals working through the night, mainly to serve markets like the US or Europe, due to time zone differences. Number 9. A unique transportation system. In the Philippines, buying a car is no simple matter. Car prices here are often 2 to 3 times higher than in many other countries. For example, a Toyota Vios that costs around $15,000 in Japan can shoot up to $25,000 or even $30,000 when imported into the Philippines due to various taxes such as import tax, excise tax, and registration fees. Meanwhile, the minimum monthly wage in the Philippines ranges from $150 to $250, meaning that, on average, a worker would have to work non-stop for over 10 years without spending a single cent to afford a car. And that's not even counting fuel costs, regular maintenance, and the daily traffic congestion in major cities like Manila. All of this makes car ownership a luxury for the majority of Filipinos. However, instead of relying on cars, Filipinos have creatively developed various unique modes of transportation that better suit their living conditions. One of the most iconic is the jeepney. These are military jeeps left behind by the Americans after World War II. Filipinos repurposed them by cutting, extending the body, adding seats and a roof, transforming them into minibuses. Each jeepney is often painted in vibrant colors and decorated with hand-drawn images such as religious icons, artwork, or graffiti. A single jeepney can carry about 20 passengers and has become an irreplaceable transportation symbol on the streets of Manila. Fares are extremely cheap, and nearly everyone in the country has ridden a jeepney at least once. In rural areas, mountainous regions, or places with narrow roads where buses or jeepneys can't reach, locals rely on a different mode of transport called the hobble-hobble. This is essentially a motorcycle that has been modified to carry 4 to 6 passengers at once, sometimes along with cargo. The driver usually wears a helmet, while the passengers simply squeeze in close together behind. In places like Mindanao or Cebu, the hobble-hobble is the main form of transport. Although this type of vehicle is considered unsafe and does not comply with standard traffic laws, it remains widely used due to its affordability and convenience. Nowadays, in some major cities, mobile apps similar to Uber or Lyft have even been developed for booking hobble-hobble rides, allowing people to hail motorcycle taxis with just a few taps on their phones. Number 10. Must-visit destinations in the Philippines. The Philippines is a highly promising travel destination in Southeast Asia, yet it's often overlooked. This country boasts countless stunning islands and breathtaking natural landscapes. First up is Boracay, the most famous island in the Philippines, home to White Beach, ranked among the most beautiful beaches in the world. Its powdery white sand stretches for over 4 kilometers, with crystal-clear turquoise water that reveals the sea floor, making you feel like you've stepped into a living postcard. Boracay isn't just a place to sunbathe and watch sunsets, it's also a paradise for water sports. In the afternoon, you can try sailing a traditional para boat along the coast as the sun begins to set. By night, the beach comes alive with music, seaside bars, and fiery dance performances right on the sand. Next is Palawan, often voted the most beautiful island in the world by international travel magazines. The top destinations here are El Nido and Coron, where you'll find towering limestone islands, emerald green lagoons, and clear freshwater lakes nestled between cliffs. A signature experience in El Nido is island hopping, taking a boat to explore various islands, swim at secluded beaches, kayak through sea caves, and snorkel over coral reefs. In Coron, you can dive deep to explore sunken shipwrecks from World War II resting on the ocean floor. Cebu offers a diverse mix of landscapes and experiences. It has crystal-clear beaches like Mactan, stunning waterfalls like Kawasan, with its jade-colored water cascading through tropical forests, and ancient churches dating back to the 16th century. One of Cebu's most iconic activities is swimming with whale sharks in Oslab. These gentle giants can grow up to 10 meters long and are surprisingly friendly with swimmers. For adrenaline seekers, there's also canyoneering, trekking, cliff jumping, and swimming through mountain streams. In contrast to the tropical islands, Banao in the northern mountains is known for its magnificent rice terraces, built by the indigenous Ifugao people over 2,000 years ago. The terraces form giant steps hugging the mountain slopes, creating an awe-inspiring landscape. Here, you can go trekking through villages, chat with locals, and explore a traditional culture that has been preserved for centuries. The most scenic time to visit is during harvest season, when the entire valley turns golden and the skies are clear. Have you ever visited any of these places? If yes, or if you've simply heard of them, drop a comment below. Number 11. The Chocolate Hills of the Philippines. The Philippines isn't just about turquoise waters and white sand beaches. It's also home to many strange and unique natural phenomena that intrigue adventure seekers and nature lovers alike. One of the most iconic places is the Chocolate Hills on Bohol Island. This geological formation consists of more than 1,200 rounded hills, rising closely together like rows of perfectly shaped buns spread across a flat plain. During the dry season, the green grass covering the hills turns brown, creating a surreal landscape that looks like thousands of chocolate mounds stretching to the horizon. What surprises many visitors is how uniform the hills are in size and symmetry, almost too perfect to believe. Various theories have been proposed to explain this unusual geological phenomenon, ranging from limestone weathering to local legends of giants throwing rocks during a battle. Whatever the origin, the Chocolate Hills have become one of the most famous tourist symbols of the Philippines. You can climb up a viewing deck to take in the panoramic view of the hills, which is especially stunning at sunrise or sunset. Far from Bohol, on Luzon Island, lies one of the most peculiar volcanic lakes in the world, Taal Lake. Taal is the smallest active volcano in the Philippines, yet its geological structure is incredibly complex. In the middle of the vast Taal Lake is an island. On that island is a crater, and inside the crater is yet another lake. In other words, it's a lake within a volcano inside another lake. This lake within a lake phenomenon is almost unheard of anywhere else on Earth. Despite Taal's history of eruptions, the area continues to attract visitors with its dramatic and mystical scenery. If you get the chance, you can take a boat ride to the island, enjoy a light hike up to the crater, and gaze into the steaming inner lake. If you're drawn to places that feel touched by myth and magic, then the enchanted river in Hinatuan, on Mindanao Island, is a must-see. This river is famed for its unbelievably vibrant blue water, so clear you can see the bottom even from far away. Locals believe mythical creatures dwell beneath its depths, and claim that fish in the center of the river can never be caught, no matter what kind of net is used. Another strange occurrence happens at the same time every day. Fish from all over gather at a single point beneath the water, as if summoned. This phenomenon has no scientific explanation yet, but it has become a daily ritual that draws many visitors. You can swim near the riverbanks, go for a paddle boat ride, or simply stand on the wooden bridge and marvel at the river's mysterious, glowing waters. Number 12. Famous dishes in the Philippines. When it comes to Filipino cuisine, there's one dish that almost every traveler is introduced to first: adobo. This is considered the national dish and a source of pride for the Filipino people. Adobo is easily recognizable by its distinct aroma of sautéed garlic, blended with the tang of vinegar and the deep saltiness of soy sauce. It's usually made with chicken or pork. The meat is marinated in the flavorful mixture, then simmered slowly over low heat until tender and infused with flavor. Filipinos typically enjoy adobo with white rice, often served with pickled cucumbers or half a boiled egg on the side. However, not all Filipino dishes are easy for international visitors to stomach. One food that many think twice about before trying is balut, or fertilized duck egg. What makes balut unique is that the egg is incubated for 14 to 21 days before being boiled, during which time the embryo has already formed, complete with beak, feathers, and soft bones. To eat it, you crack open the shell, sip the broth inside, then scoop out the rest with a spoon. It's a true psychological challenge due to its appearance, which can be unsettling for those unfamiliar with it. Still, Filipinos love balut, believing it to be highly nutritious, and often enjoy it as a common evening snack. For a more daring and adventurous culinary experience, tamilok is a must-try. Also known as woodworm, tamilok is actually a type of mollusk that lives inside decaying mangrove wood in coastal areas. Locals typically eat tamilok raw, dipping it in vinegar and chili. These sea creatures are long, soft, and slimy, much like earthworms. For many tourists, just looking at them is enough to take their breath away, but for people in Palawan, tamilok is a treasured delicacy, often featured at seafood feasts. Finally, no major celebration in the Philippines is complete without lechon. This is a whole roasted pig, stuffed with lemongrass, garlic, and red onions, then slowly spit roasted over charcoal for several hours. When done, the skin turns golden and crispy, crackling with every bite. while the meat inside remains juicy, tender, and rich without being greasy. Lechon is often served with a special liver-based sauce or dipped in vinegar with garlic and chili for balance. It's a must-have dish at weddings, New Year's feasts, and important family gatherings across the country. Number 13. Fascinating festivals in the Philippines. If you ever visit the Philippines at the beginning of the year, you'll quickly find yourself swept up in the vibrant and energetic atmosphere of its many festivals. One of the biggest and most famous celebrations in the country is Sinulog, held in Cebu City every January. This festival honors Santo Niño, the image of the child Jesus. But what makes Sinulog truly special isn't just its religious significance, it's the dazzling parade filled with color, rhythm, and energy. Thousands of dancers dressed in traditional, vividly colored costumes perform synchronized steps to the beat of thundering drums. Cebu's main streets transform into open-air stages, with elaborately decorated floats and performers in intricate makeup and outfits moving to traditional music for hours on end. The whole city seems to spin in a whirlwind of excitement, as locals and tourists alike join in the dancing, cheering, and festivities from morning till night. Not far in time from Sinulog, also in January, the city of Kalibo in Aklan Province lights up with the ATI Atihan Festival. Considered the oldest festival in the Philippines, it originated as a tribute to the ATI tribe, one of the earliest indigenous communities to settle on Panay Island. During ATI Atihan, people dress in striking outfits, painting their skin black, decorating their faces with vivid colors, wearing headdresses, and wrapping themselves in skirts made from palm leaves or dried grass. The non-stop beating of drums fills the air, driving powerful dances and a long, exhilarating street parade. What makes ATI Atihan unique is that it's not just a performance to watch, you're invited to join in, turning the whole city into one massive street party. Rounding off the festival journey is the Mascara Festival in Bacolod City, held every October. This festival carries a deeply emotional backstory. It was born in the 1982 during a time of economic hardship and after a tragic ferry accident that took hundreds of lives. To lift the spirits of the people, Mascara was created as a symbol of optimism. The festival's most iconic element is the brightly colored smiling masks worn by everyone, serving as a reminder that no matter what happens, life goes on and joy can still be found. During Mascara, streets come alive with dancing crowds in dazzling costumes and beaming masks, moving to lively music as if the entire city has turned into one enormous stage. The atmosphere at Mascara is not just cheerful, it's overflowing with heart and hope. Number 14. Cost of living in the Philippines. If you're planning to travel long-term, work, or live in the Philippines, understanding the cost of living is essential. Especially in major cities like Manila or Cebu, living expenses can vary significantly depending on your location and spending habits. In central urban areas, renting a one-bedroom apartment typically costs between $500 to $650 per month. These prices are for apartments in convenient locations, close to malls or expat neighborhoods. However, if you choose to live in the suburbs or farther from the city center, rent can drop significantly, ranging from $250 to $350 per month. This price gap gives you the flexibility to decide whether you prioritize comfort and convenience or saving money. For transportation, the jeepney is not only a cultural icon but also the most budget-friendly option. A short ride costs around $0.30 to $0.60. Buses are also widely used, with fares between $0.60 and $1 per trip. If you prefer more comfort and convenience, taxis or app-based rides like Grab are available. A short taxi ride typically costs between $1.50 and $2.50. For those wanting to explore the city independently or travel to island areas, car rentals are available at around $25 to $35 per day, excluding fuel and optional fees like insurance. Food expenses in the Philippines are quite flexible. If you cook at home and shop at local markets, your monthly grocery bill will be around $120 to $160. On the other hand, if you often eat out, a basic meal at a local eatery only costs $1.20 to $2. Dining at a mid-range restaurant with a nicer setting may cost between $4 and $8 per meal. For essential utilities such as electricity, water, internet, and phone, you should budget an additional $40 to $60 per month for basic utility bills. High-speed internet typically costs around $20 to $25 per month. All in all, to live a stable and fairly comfortable life in the Philippines, a single person would need around $600 to $800 per month. If you're frugal, it's possible to manage with as little as $500. Number 15. The taxi scam situation. Taxi scams in Manila are quite common, especially in tourist-heavy areas like airports, bus terminals, and shopping centers. Taxi drivers here often refuse to turn on the meter and instead suggest a fixed fare. At first glance, this might seem convenient, but the quoted price is usually several times higher than the actual cost. For example, a trip from the city center to the airport should only cost about 120 pesos with the meter running. But many tourists have ended up paying as much as 700 pesos after being offered a fixed rate. The best way to avoid this is to insist the driver uses the meter before getting in. If they refuse, simply get out and book a Grab instead. This ride-hailing app is widely used in the Philippines and offers clearly stated, fixed prices. Another issue is pickpocketing in crowded places. Locations like night markets, jeepney terminals, train stations, or shopping malls are common spots for professional pickpocket gangs. They usually target tourists, especially those who keep wallets or phones in back pockets or wear loosely strapped backpacks. There have been numerous cases of travelers losing their phones within seconds while queuing for tickets or squeezing onto a jeepney. To avoid pickpocketing, wear your backpack on your chest, carry minimal cash, and use bags with secure zippers. One more thing to prepare for is weak mobile signals or loss of internet when visiting islands or remote areas. In places like Palawan, Siargao, or even Batanes, mobile reception can be very spotty, especially during rain or at night. Some resorts only offer Wi-Fi in the reception area, and there may be no signal at all inside the rooms. This can be inconvenient if you need to check maps, contact drivers, or access important emails. To prepare, download offline maps in advance. Save your flight, hotel, and address information on your phone, or better yet, print them out as backup. Lastly, be aware of the weather in the Philippines, particularly during the rainy season from June to November. The weather can be extremely unpredictable. It might be sunny in the morning, but a heavy downpour could arrive just a few hours later. This can significantly affect your travel plans, especially if you're taking a ferry or a domestic flight. To avoid delays or cancellations, always carry a raincoat or a small umbrella, and allow extra time between connections in your itinerary. So we've just explored some astonishing facts about the Philippines. We hope these 15 insights have given you a fresh perspective on this fascinating country. If you found the video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming adventures. Which fact impressed you the most? Leave a comment below, we'd love to hear your thoughts. The information is for reference only, so please do your own research before making any decisions.